Okay, good morning. Time again for coffee and questions. And today's topic was when you want to bend things like in a circle or a small arc. I mean, how can you do it and control it? And I said, well, go back and take a look at one of my other videos and I show you how to bend them around steel pots and around round pieces of wood and stuff like that if you need to. But I did come across another jig that I had made quite a while back, a photo of it. So I'm going to put it up. It's similar to mine. The better one was, of course, off of the web. I found somebody's who I used to make the same thing. So let's just get right after it. Let me show you the picture. We'll have a discussion. We'll do questions and answers. Here we go. Okay, so let's take a look at the picture here on the left, just above my head. Now, what he did is he got this little dolly. You can get these off of old swamp coolers. You can get them, go out and buy one if you want it. Home Depot, Lowe's, something like that. Maybe even Harbor Freight has some cheap, inexpensive little, dolly thing like this. Anything like this, it's got that big V groove in it. What I use is what came off of an old swamp cooler motor. And they're small, but I needed a small one. Now you can get these, of course, in different sizes. It's whatever you run across. It comes in really handy for bending arcs, or if you want to bend like a circle. What he did here in this picture is the same thing that I did. I got some scrap plate steel, and I went ahead and I made, if you take a look where it goes onto the vise here and that plate, I put a little spacer on each side before I welded that plate onto that wheel. Now what that space will do is it'll create a gap big enough for whatever you're going to put in there. Now I've got more than one, but it's made out of a different like dolly thing, and it's for 1/4 inch, and then I've got one for like larger pieces of rebar, because when you heat it up you want to slip it down in there, and I don't want like a lot of play. So I have a couple of these, and I just put them in a big box of jigs. You can go back and look through my bending jig videos. I show you how to make different things to bend steel, but this is another one, and I came across this. I thought, I'm just going to make a quick tip video for the day. I'm going to show you how you can make these. It's simple to do. Get yourself this old dolly wheel, weld that plate on there. You can put spacers, like I said. It's not shown here real well on the back side, and create that snug gap for depending on what you're going to stick in there. Now a friend of mine, he doesn't really care about that gap. He just put the plate in there and called it done, and he feels that that V groove that's there is giving him plenty of space for different kinds of roundness in material, whether it's 1/4 inch up to 3/8, 1/2 inch, whatever. Okay, but on cold rolled steel, I mean, the larger diameter, of course, you get, 1/4 inch is real easy to work with. You could bend that stuff by hand. You don't need heat. But you start getting up to the larger stuff, like in the picture over here on the right, you're going to have to heat it. Now, everybody, makes fun of me, and we joke around because I use like what they call the redneck method. I just have oxyacetylene and I heat it up, and I figure, well, you can joke with me and make fun of it, but it is what it is, and it works. If you have another way of heating the steel, I think that's great. But I work out of a garage, like I always say, so I'm always trying to improvise and figure out how to do things and how to do them correctly with the tools that I have. Okay, let's go to questions and answers, and we won't make this a long video. I just wanted to show you, here's another jig you can make. It's really easy. Okay, for first question is, do I have to use flat plate steel to, weld that base? No, you don't. It doesn't really matter. You could have welded a single piece of angle iron on there and just welded it real good. It would have worked the same. You can use whatever you want to create, that gap for, doing thicker round steel. But no, it doesn't have to be plate. You can make it out of whatever you have laying around. That's the nice part about a lot of these projects that I show you. They're simple projects. They're projects you can use basic tools that you should probably already have in your garage. And I also show you how to use up your scrap. So don't just throw out your scrap right away. I've got like a little scrap bin. I throw cutoffs in there, and I use them for oddball projects. Now, yes, once in a while I get an accumulation and I start sorting through it, throwing stuff out. But anyway, that answers your question. Next question. Okay, I think your question you're trying to ask is bending other types of steel in this same jig. Yes, I'm sure that you can within reason, depending on how you weld that plate to that wheel or that pulley. I don't know. I haven't tried it. I did put a piece of small rectangular steel. I heated it and started to bend it. The problem with that is if you don't use some kind of relief cut, this is a whole nother topic, but if you don't use some kind of relief cutting or bend it like at a gentle arc, or fill it with sand. Fill the rectangular piece with sand, plug it, heat it, and then bend it. It's going to bend and it's going to kink on you bad. It'll kink all over the place. So one easy method is to fill it with sand, heat it, and then start bending it, if that answers your question. I mean, I'm glad you brought it up. It's an interesting little side note, but no, I primarily use this for round, okay? But you can use square if it's small. You start getting into bigger stuff, it becomes more of a problem to make these big arc bends, especially when it's like hollow rectangular steel. How big can you bend? If I understand you right, you want to bend things that are larger than what you see in the picture, then you're going to have to find larger pulleys or some kind of a larger wheel thing that's got this V groove. What's nice about these, with the V groove, it'll hold that steel in there as you bend it. So I don't know. I mean, you can experiment around, drop me a comment, let me know what you fabricate and create. And I mean, you know, we can all take a look at it together, but that's my best answer for you. Okay, this wasn't meant to be a long video. This is your quick tip of the day. And like always, click subscribe, give me a thumbs up, you know, help me out. Still trying to push that 1,000 mark. Appreciate you folks for watching and following me. Don't forget to go back, look at the other metal bending videos. It'll show you other ways of doing this too. And you folks have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.